How's Sammy, Jay?
She's hurting in a lot of ways. The elbows, I don't know if there's anything structurally going on yet or not, but it was hurting pretty bad, and I think it's just coupled with a lot of emotional hurt too. But she's hurting.
What went wrong there?
Standing right under her, she did her pack salto, which is that second release from high to low, and one hand, the right hand, as she caught, slipped, and she slid down the bar and caught her elbow, that inside bone on her elbow, that epicondyle. She smashed it pretty hard, and I didn't think she could finish the routine, but she did, and so we got over to beam and let her. She wanted to try, and she got on the beam. As soon as she put weight on it, she said, "I can't go." And so we made the decision to put Haley in, which Haley did the job.
Well, was Haley not going to go on beam? She wouldn't have done the all around tonight if it had not been for Sammy's injury.
That's correct.
Okay.
How much do you think it rattled the girl? It was an ugly fall, so I mean it's not a normal. Not that you have normal beam falls or bar falls, but that one looked rough.
Yeah, it was a rough one. It was also one that I don't know that we've ever seen anywhere from Sammy. So I don't think it was, frightening to them. I think it just startled them just because you get to Sammy in the lineup and you generally think that's going to go well. And so I think it startled them, and we pulled them together and just reminded them of the mindset that we had talked about. And, keeping your eyes forward and keep moving forward. And we were still in a really good spot. All we needed really to do was come over here, and we could have done subpar beam and been fine. We just really too much subpar beam.
I went back and looked because I couldn't see it in Reagan's deal. She grabbed the beam early. That was a 9.7. That was
So she had some breaks all the way through that were. I thought it was a little. I was hoping for. We could have gotten a 9.85 out of her. We really needed a 9.85 average across the board just to be safe, because we had 3/10 on Utah. We had 3/10 or 4/10 on Alabama, and if we could have, if we'd have done 9.85s across as an average, that puts us at a 49.25, and that forces them to both go 49.55 or 49.65, and in order to beat us. And so we were in a really good place. I mean, we basically led the meet for 3 events, and I don't know if she touched the beam early. She saluted and went. I just think she had some breaks and some wobbles in places that were uncharacteristic for her as well. She's a 9.85 in her sleep most of the time. So
on her initial handstand and come down, she reached under and grabbed the beam. I don't remember ever seeing that before, and I thought that might have been what it was.
I didn't notice that. I'd have to go back and watch the video. I didn't, from where I was standing, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary with her mount.
Would you talk about Haley's national championship?
I mean, she's been the best vaulter in the country all year long, and so there's that. We don't obviously, that's an awesome accomplishment for her, and we're certainly very proud of her. We don't focus a lot on the individual stuff, even in our weekly things. We don't talk about who wins the all around, and that's for fans and your family and those things. We're 100% focused on how we do as a team, and so we're happy for her. We're very proud of her. She's been an amazing freshman for us all year long, and the future's very bright with her and Kaya and Alona and all the freshmen and sophomores from this year's team. We've counted on them a lot, and they've delivered a lot.
Jay, the old saying is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. How does this, help the girls grow going into, next season and in the future?
We'll get stronger. I mean, that's exactly what I told them. I said, I want you to feel this. I want you to remember it. I want you to understand what happened, and I want you to fuel your fire with it, because there's great things for these guys ahead. And this is our first trip back to this environment since we had Sarah Finnegan and Lexi Priestman and those guys on the team, and so we knew we had some growth to do. We had a very deep team from a physical standpoint all year long. We knew we had some mental growth going into this year, and I think we grew a lot. Obviously not enough, but I definitely think we'll use it to fuel our fire for sure. It's not a good feeling, I can tell you that.
It seems like there was just always something a little bit off for working against you. Your score would have qualified if you'd been in the first semifinal. Everything else being equal. Is frustration the word for this year, or you have another word for it?
I'm really not frustrated with the year. I know everybody gets hung up on a loss in the season and stuff, and I've tried to tell people 100 different ways that doesn't determine a whole lot in our sport. But and I know that it's the default setting of everybody. And I get it. We want to win every single meet. I knew we were going to be good this year, and we were. How good would we end up being? Would depend on how this particular team grew and gelled and grew mentally, in terms of their approach and their ability to fight through adversity. And they showed a lot of that from time to time. I really felt like coming in here, and if they were in the best place they had been from a confidence standpoint, and they were on fire when we came out here. I mean, they were loose. They were focused. It was everything you would want to see in a team for the better part of 3 events. So I know that the outcome is negative, obviously. But we're going to finish 6th in the country, which is certainly less than what we wanted, by a long shot. But I'm not going to get down on these kids. I'm not going to. I want them to feel it, but I don't want them to own it and wear it and blame themselves. We've all got to get better. Coaches got to get better. We got to prepare them better. You can't point fingers at particular mistakes when they happen, and we've got to examine everything we're doing and get better.